Am I the a-hole for quitting after my employer searched my room and treated me like a thief? He sighed heavily and started talking about how difficult his life was, how tense his marriage had become, and how trapped he felt in his own home. That was when the conversation shifted in a way that made my skin crawl. He admitted, suddenly and too casually, that he had taken the brooch himself. He said it quickly, as if ripping off a bandage, and then immediately followed it with explanations about money, about what belonged to him originally, and how unfair his situation was. He spoke like he expected sympathy, or maybe forgiveness, as if this confession would somehow fix everything that had already been done. I felt cold all over listening to him, not relieved and not vindicated. I felt disgusted and deeply uncomfortable. The fact that he could admit this to me after letting his wife search my things and treat me like a criminal, it made everything feel worse and it would reinforce my will to leave. He begged me to stay, saying I was the only person in the house who felt normal to talk to, that without me there would be no one left he could stand. The way he said it made it clear he wasn't thinking about me at all. He was only thinking about his own loneliness and frustration. I told him no, firmly this time, and asked him to leave me alone. When he finally left, I finished packing as quickly as I could, my hands shaking, but my mind strangely clear. Whatever fear I had felt earlier was gone. It was replaced by a steady certainty that staying would only mean more moments like this, and more quiet humiliations that were dressed up as misunderstandings. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my bed with my things packed beside me, waiting for morning, counting the hours until I could leave. By morning, the house felt hollowed out. Everything that had happened was being carefully ignored. People moved around quietly, avoiding my room and avoiding my eyes, and no one mentioned the brooch or the search. I finished getting ready and carried my things downstairs myself. The lady of the house was already seated in the sitting room, looking pale and tired, but she didn't look at me or say a word. The master of the house hovered nearby, clearly wanting to speak, but I didn't give him the chance. I said goodbye politely and stepped outside. Update. I left the house that morning and never went back. I decided to crash with acquaintances for a short while. I found other work soon after, and eventually settled into something stable. I did get some calls from the master, but as soon as I heard his voice, I'd hang up on him. Some of the other girls would reconnect with me and tell me that soon after I left, the house was filled with more fighting and yelling, and that many of them left after the lady of the house starting hitting them. In hindsight, I'm glad I left when I did, as I saved myself from that sort of abuse.